What's up guys, how you doing? Welcome to another video. So we have not done a video with the lights down in here for a while, but we're doing it mainly because I'm playing around with the new camera, with the EOS R, which is currently filming this video right here. Switched up the back for you guys a little bit as well. We've got the purple going on. I thought I'd try and switch it so it kind of matches the thumbnail, because we seem to have accidentally stumbled into a purple theme with the thumbnail, which isn't really to do with the branding that's normally on my channel, because my little logo there is normally white, red and orange. So yeah, we're going with purple. Hey, it is what it is, who cares? Today we're talking about the EOS R and why I, a primarily sports photographer, would buy an EOS R when I'd played around with the ideas of buying a 1DX, a 1DX Mark II, a 5D4. Why did I choose an EOS R? I'm going to tell you guys today. Let's go. So look, thank you to all of you guys who responded to my last video. Got a couple of comments there about people who were surprised, people who thought it was a great idea, people who thought I should have gone for a 1DX Mark II. One of the things I didn't talk about in the video, which quite a few people suggested, is why didn't I wait for the R5 or even the R6? The main reason being is because I know that that's going to be beyond my budget right now. 1DX Mark III is beyond my budget. It's rumoured that they're going to be priced fairly similarly, so it's very unlikely that will be something that's within my budget. That's the main reason why I didn't really consider that as one of my options at all. But that's not to say that I won't look at it in the future. In fact, I would be surprised if at some point in the future I'm not looking at it, because it sounds like the R5 could be a great mirrorless option and also could cover some of the things that the EOS R does not have. But either way, I appreciate all you guys commenting. I appreciate you guys who commented on the previous video where I was weighing up my options, because that really helped me, and the input from some of you guys helped me loads. Some of you even shared the video, and I had other people messaging me from Instagram and various other places. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask you guys to do me a favour. I would love it if you would share some of my videos. Pick your favourite video, doesn't have to be this one, whichever video you like, and go and share it far and wide. Put it on your Facebook pages, put it on your Twitter, put it wherever you would like to, because I really appreciate it. It helps my channel to grow, and we've been growing fairly consistently now the last few weeks. It's just really cool. We're up to a little bit under 2,200 subscribers, which is crazy. When I started out doing this, I didn't even have 200 subscribers, let alone 2,200. So it's really cool that the channel's starting to grow and that we're starting to share some more content. Of course, it's also really cool that right now I've got more time to be focusing on these videos. So we have been knocking out 3 a week. This week's probably going to be 2, and realistically going forwards, I will try to maintain like at least 2 a week, maybe like a Tuesday and a Friday, something like that. We'll see how we go. Do me all a favour, take a second to go hit the like button on the video. I've talked before about why it's a good thing to do. The main reason is because it helps me out, and that's why you want to do it, right? I know you do. Go hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Enough about all of that, let's talk about the EOS R. So what I've tried to do is break down really 3 main areas, or 3 main factors for me that led me to buy the EOS R ahead of some of the other options that I had. The first one of those, and quite an important one, was the price. And not just the price on its own, because, you know, if I was literally just to put them in price order, yeah, fine. You know, the EOS R is still working out to over £1,000, but it was also the price versus the value. Now, for me, I'm very pleased that I managed to acquire a Canon EOS R brand new for about £1,000. I'm going to talk through how I did that in a future video, but I did it through buying and selling a few bits of gear, and by buying this in such a way that enables me to maximize the usage of the profit I made from selling one of my 72s and my 70D. Ultimately, my 72 and my 70D pretty much covered the cost of the EOS R. Yes, I had to trade 2 cameras for one, but it was the right thing to do, and was substantially less than if I had paid out the money to buy a 1DX Mark II. Probably half the price of even another 1DX, let alone a 1DX Mark II. The second main factor that led me to choose the EOS R was what I'm going to be using it for. Now, I was thinking a lot about it, right? Of course, in my mind, primarily, I think about sports when I'm thinking about what a camera is going to be used for. But realistically, more and more, I've been working on video, and especially trying to grow this channel for you guys. Now, in reality, over the last few weeks, I've spent way more more time doing videos, mostly sat in here doing videos, unfortunately not out at event, than I have been shooting sports. And that's likely to be the case at least for the next couple of months, and probably right up till Christmas. The amount of sports that I shoot is going to be reduced. The amount of videos I make is going to be increasing. With that in mind, the factors of video and what camera would be best for video was really key for me, and especially the type of videos I do. The things that made this camera really useful was the flip out screen. I can see you guys right over here. That's a massive thing for me, and the fact that just if I'm using my 7D2 or my 1DX, which I filmed 2 videos with whilst I was waiting for this camera to arrive, and frankly it was a nightmare. The autofocus was all funny for some reason. I had to work out how to get another screen so I could see myself, because I tried filming without the screen and that was just a disaster, because it was too much, right? So this kind of video that I filmed, the EOS R, is absolutely perfect. And also with the EOS R, I've got the ability to shoot various different video modes that I make massive use of. One of the most exciting things is I've now got the ability to shoot 120 frames per second, 60 frames per second, so I can do some cool slow motion. You guys have seen me try to use slow motion a little bit in my videos before, but it's always been a bit messy because I'm either working with 50 frames per second or I'm having to do it on the Osmo Action, which is great, but it's not really a camera designed for that type of thing. So the fact I can use this for so much more of my video stuff is going to be really great. I can carry it around with me easily. It's nice and light. If I hadn't done that, I'd have either been the guy who was out there Peter McKinnon style with his 1DX Mark II on a Gorilla Pod, or I'd have been trying to use the 7D2, and either way I wouldn't have had a screen where I could see myself, and that just stressed me out. So the video factors played a huge part into my decision. That was amplified by the decision that I made to only sell one of my 7D2s, because that has then left me with my 1DX and one of my 7D2s, which on its own, those two are perfectly capable of shooting sports without even thinking about the EOS R. I'm going to think about the EOS R, and I'm going on to that in my third point, but nonetheless, even if I didn't use it for sports, I'm still well covered. I've still got this as a backup, so it kind of fitted into my setup a little bit better. Now my third point kind of falls into two, so actually I've kind of got 4 points, but anyway, my third point is everything else that I use a camera for. Last year when we went on our family holiday, I took the 1DX with me and I was using that for our family photos because it was the best camera I had and it would get me the best quality images. Whenever I go on holiday, I always go out and do some landscape shots, either at sunrise, sunset, various other bits, and I'm always using the 1DX because it's going to get me the best quality images. That's cool, but when you're going on a family holiday, you don't want to be taking a big old camera with you, weighing me down in the shoulder bag. So those are the kind of things I was thinking about, right? Everything else I'm going to use my camera for. Around the house, my family, holidays, trips, landscapes. The EOS R makes more sense for pretty much every single one of those categories. And although the majority of my work might be sports photography, I do loads of other bits as well, and I wanted a camera that was going to fit into all those things, including my personal life at home, as well as all of my sports work. And the second part to this bit is it actually will fit in with my sports work anyway. Yes, there are loads of things about this camera which means it isn't right for sports. For example, the frame rate isn't sitting up there with the 1DX and the 10 frames per second, and yes, it is reduced even further, I think down to like 5 frames per second maybe when you're using the continuous autofocus. So yeah, does that make it weaker for sports? Yes, it does. I believe there are some issues with the blackouts after you've taken images, but that said, I've been playing with that already and I actually don't see that to be much of an issue, especially if you turn off the image review in the viewfinder. It makes a big difference, but all that will come in future videos, and that was a big factor driving me to want to get this camera as well. People have talked about whether or not the EOS R can be used for sport. Peter Reed Miller did a few different videos about it. Other photographers have tried using them for action and bird photography and stuff like that. But actually I thought, you know what? No one has really consistently for a period of time tried to use an EOS R for sports events, for basketball, for high-level football, and I'm going to. I want to give it a try. I'm going to take this camera and I'm going to shoot Premier League, I'm going to shoot basketball, and I want to see how it holds up. I'm going to have my 1DX and my 7D2 with me because I can't afford any risk risk, I've got to make sure I get a good image. But I'm going to have a play around with this and I'm going to see how it holds up, because there'll be some areas where I bet it performs really, really well. For example, the picture quality is going to be fantastic. I can already tell that from just playing around taking photos of my family at home. The picture quality of this is going to stack up absolutely with my 1DX, and I bet it would with the 1DX Mark II as well. Yes, there'll be the frames per second and so on and so on, but when I get those images, I bet the quality is going to be fantastic. And there's nothing wrong with great quality images when it comes to any type of photography, let alone sports photography, and I think it's going to perform really well in that area. I'll be interested to pair it up with my 70-200 when I'm doing sports events. It's going to be much lighter, easier to move around. If I've got my 1DX on my 300 and then I've got this attached to the 70-200, I think that's going to be real mobile and fun to use pitch side, and I'm looking forward to that as well. And most importantly, I'm going to enjoy the opportunity to make the content, to make the video for you guys, where we can test this camera out and we can see what it's like from sports. And I'll be very interested to get some sports photos from this camera and then some sports photos from my 1DX, put them next to each other and see if you guys can tell the difference. And the other big thing, of course, is the fact that this is a mirrorless camera. I have no doubt in my mind the future of photography is mirrorless. It's only a matter of time before everybody sells their 1DX and Mark IIs and Mark IIIs and everybody is shooting with a mirrorless camera. Will that be the R5, R6? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I imagine it's more likely to be some future models of those types of cameras. But nonetheless, it won't be long. Everyone will be shooting mirrorless, so why not start giving it a go right now? I think that pretty much rounds it off. I know people will still be disagreeing with me. I know people will still be saying, Rob, you still should have got the 5D4. You still should have got the 1DX Mark II. And the other thing for me is that I am not precious or too proud about my decisions to change my mind in the future. I've had a lot of success buying and selling camera gear through eBay and online. Before now, I've managed to buy lenses for one price, use them for a year and a half, then sell them for more than I bought them for. The way I do that is by being very clever, digging through eBay, MPB, various other places before I buy my gear, and then working out how I can sell it for the best possible price. So if I do end up selling this camera on, yes, it might cost me a couple of £100 or I lose a bit of money on it. Yes, I might then need to spend a little bit more to get a different camera to replace it, but if that's what I have to do, then I'm happy with it, because in the meantime, it's given me all the opportunity to play around with it, make the videos, so on and so on. Loads of benefits for me. I think that pretty much rounds it off. Those are the reasons. That's why I, a sports photographer, bought the Canon EOS R instead of a Canon 1DX Mark II. I'm also left with about £1,000 in my bank that I wouldn't have had if I bought the 1DX Mark II, and that certainly makes me happy, makes Mrs. Sambles happy, and everybody else as well. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do take that second, go hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you stick around if you're interested to see how this camera stacks up for sports, because we are going to give it a real good go. Make sure you go check me out on Instagram. You can follow me over on Twitter, right here at Rob Sambles Photo. You can find me on Instagram, 3 different places, at Rob Sambles, at Rob Sambles Sport, and at Scorchers Photog. Go check those out. I'm putting some stuff on the stories on Instagram and out on Twitter soon about some future Q&A videos, and we're going to have a live Q&A video which we will be getting announced on those social media channels, so make sure you're following along over there so you don't miss the live Q&A, which is going to be coming in about 2 weeks. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.